All right, so this is the second part to Wrath. Guess I can start doing this whenever if I do have enough time to hit them both. Even though so then you can know the solution, or at least what I've drawn up for my solution. So again, I've just recently talked about Wrath, right? Wrath the Pebble. Um, like I said, Wrath is very small, but once it gets in there, it's poisonous. It's kind of like I don't know if you ever have a piece of rock, you put it in any type of oil, and you just throw it into a cup of water. You will see the oil start to come up, and it'll dissipate and everything like that, right? The oil never leaves, it's there. And that's kind of how wrath is. You 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 allow it into you, whatever it is, and it just vibrates, and it's consistent. Even if it's just one pebble, it's consistent. It's consistently just there. And a lot of times, like, it's fed. It feeds into other sins, and it is fed into itself by other sins. What do I mean? Wrath can be fed by lies, and a lie in itself comes out of pride. Um, that's a rhyme right there, but I mean, let's be honest. When we lie, it's because we're afraid of our pride. We're afraid our pride is going to be hurt, or that, even when you say, "Oh, I'm a lie to hurt, not to hurt her," you're really saying, "I'm a lie so I don't get my ass in trouble." And in truth, that's what helps keeping wrath in there. Um, Everybody has a story, and everybody is bringing definition into their story. Through their actions, you bring definition into your stories, into your life, into your story. There are people who come, everybody's going to come from a sob story. Everybody's going to have something that hits their life, whether it's young or whether it's older, that it's going to be like, yo, like, that was messed up. The antithesis and the way that wrath feeds off of this is that it, like I said, it put blinders on you. It's a poison. It poisons the world to you. It poisons the universe to you. So how are you going to beat it? Well, it's pretty simple. You got to let it go. You got to be able to speak up when it is time to speak up. Do not wait until something significant happened and you realize that you have this in you, and you got to get rid of it. You got to get rid of your baggage, right? Your baggage is your wrath. And again, feeds that. And how does it feed it? Simple. If you come from a crazy circumstance, right? Pride is going to tell you that you are so great because you came from that crazy circumstance and you made it leaps and bounds. You made it to places that you never been to. I'm gonna be honest right now. This is a little bit of a coming to Jesus moment. When I was a kid, I was a step away from being eligible retarded. Right, I was one step away from being, labeled that. Um, and now, I'm teaching special needs kids myself. So, uh, my pride up to this moment was being fed by my wrath. But at the same time, my pride was also feeding my wrath. Um, I had to sit down, recently, and I had to confront my past. And in me doing that, I came through stronger, of course, but I came through and I came to some realizations. Now, I don't think this is the reason why people have mental health issues. I don't think this can even stop people from having mental health issues. But I do think it can help you out. And this is it, right? If you're dealing with depression, or if you're dealing with something such as myself, I deal with survivor's remorse, where there are times where, even though I'm not living flashy, I'm not where I will be in a year's time, right? But I'm better off compared to the people that I came up with. And the reason why is because I did a lot of silent grinds. I've never been a boisterous person about my victories as much as other people. I'll tell you like this. I'll say it like this. I mostly want other people to brag that they know me rather than me brag about my own accomplishments. And that has been a very strong driving force in my life. But I didn't realize that having that has actually fed into my pride, where it was like, yo, like, you, nobody has nothing bad to say about me, so I must be a great person, I must be a good person. But in truth, like, that doesn't always necessarily mean true, right? What is your definition of a great person? What is your definition of a good person? Is really what that comes back to. And so how do you deal with wrath? How do you beat wrath back? Again, you gotta let it out. You gotta let out what's really been inside. In the last video, I talked about jumping into your lake or jumping into your river. However strong your spiritual energy is, jumping into there and taking out all the poisonous rocks that is just vibrating within that river or that lake. The toughest part is to understand how much are you going to take out. Me personally, sitting down now, I would say take them all out, because in the end it's going to fester, and it's going to stay there no matter what if you don't take it all out. So unboxing, right? What does that mean? It goes back to what I said before. People will always say that, man, there's always somebody's going through something worse. And in truth, that saying is meant to help people cope with the circumstance that they're in. And this is where anger comes in. You, as a person, you as a man or a woman, have every right to be angry with the circumstance that you're in. You have every right to be angry with the past that you've come from. And you have every right to take action, and so you can heal. You got to dig it out. So you got to dig out the pain. And so what did I do? I wrote letters. It's funny, but yeah, that's what I did. I wrote a letter to my mother and my father, and I helped them to understand, like, this is what I went through, and it's plaguing me today more than it ever did in the past. And why is that? Because when I felt that wrath get into my space, instead of me being like, yo, like, this doesn't feel right, like this isn't good, I lied and said, you know what, I'm gonna be okay. But anything done in the dark is always gonna come to the light. And so it's gonna fester, and it's gonna come out in the form of wrath. How did my wrath come out? It came out in a negative space. And I'm not happy about it, and I'm willing to pay the piper for it. And that's just what it is. And right now, me paying the piper is me having to sit down and have these conversations of me taking care of myself. And so in order for me to do that, I was going to have those difficult conversations with people that I love. You know, I love them dearly. And so I say that to everybody who watches this video. You, if you think you're dealing with wrath, and if you can feel it, if you can feel that disturbance in your vibration, you have to confront it. Now, does it have to be a confrontation where, we step into the backyard and we shoot the ones? Then maybe that might be it. But whenever you confront it, you let it be there. You leave that energy there. Maybe it's something where you sit down and you have that talk, that conversation, and you if it gets heated, then it gets heated. But always understand, like I said before, love is not supposed to be this butterfly looking thing where it's just like everything is beautiful, everything flows. No, love, just like anything else, it's a choice. You choose to love or you choose not to love. And with any choice that you make, there's going to be a struggle, no matter what choice it is. Rather you choose to brush your teeth or not brush your teeth, there's still a struggle within that choice, and that's something that you're going to have to face. But you cannot allow yourself to be held down and cursed by wrath, because no matter what, no matter how good of a person you may try to be, it's going to poison the way you might see this world. And so when you get that poison within you, you're not going to be in the greatest state of mind to take full advantage of the goodness that has been presented to you. Everybody wants their good karma to pay its due to them. But what are you going to do when that good karma pays its due to you, but you can't see it? You can't touch it, you can't smell it. You smelling it, but you're telling yourself it's too good to be true. Or you tell yourself you don't deserve it, that this should be happening for somebody else. Or, I've done so much in my past, like this doesn't make sense to me why I am blessed so beautifully. These type of things, these type of thoughts are rooted from wrath. And you gotta dig that out of you. You gotta get that poison out of you. If you don't, you're never gonna completely fulfill your full potential, right? You can save the whole world, but if you can't actually enjoy bringing life to the world by saving the world, then you're missing out. You're giving more than you're receiving, and anything that you give, you should also receive something. I know that sounds very capitalistic, but it's true, right? If whenever you give a gift, especially since Christmas is coming up, I should feel I should be so out of this world happy that I can even provide a gift for somebody, because it's not every day that you can really bring somebody's day just by giving them a gift. And so yeah, like I said, like, don't allow yourself to poison yourself through your wrath. Don't allow the world to be poisoned through wrath. Don't even allow the universe to be poisoned through wrath. And there's a lot of people who walks through the world, and you hear about them where it's just like bad luck after bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. And probably the reason why it's so bad and they're hitting all these bad lucks is because they've allowed wrath to consume them. And now, since they are searching for, not necessarily searching for the bad, but they are searching for the bad within themselves, that bad is just following them. Bad is right there because it's just outside that window. All you have to do is look out and you can find something bad if you really want to. And that's the key about wrath. You cannot allow wrath to blind you. You can't allow wrath to poison your mind, because as soon as you start to allow it to poison your mind, it's gonna take a come to Jesus moment, or it's gonna take a moment to where you can stop and you can jump into that lake and dig it out. But compared to everything else, it's probably the easiest sin to battle. Wrath is probably the easiest sin to battle, because compared to pride, it's so hard not to lie to yourself, right? Even if you're cooking and you're like, oh man, I'm killing this, they gonna love it when I put this out. You lying to yourself right there. When you know something in your head is like, man, I probably shouldn't have put too much sugar or salt on this, but hey, it looks good, it's presentable. you know, Same thing for a sloth. Being scared of your own potential. That is a hard thing to battle. There's a lot of people who fight and struggle to get to where they can get to, where case in point, if you fight, there's a lot of people who get stage fright, right? They fight, they sing, they sing really well, they go about their day very well and everything like that. But then when it gets time to take the leap, they're scared. They talk themselves out of it. That's how sloth can play into your life. Same with envy. Envy comes from a lack of feeling like your worth isn't really there. Your self-worth isn't completely strong, and you can become envious. And wrath is going to feed off of that, where where you don't feel like you're worthy, or you feel like the self-worth that you have is not enough because of material things or spiritual things or something like that. Now you're trying to take from others through the actions of giving poison, you know and that's just not right. And so, to make sure you're not a toxic person or a poisonous person, you got to deal with your wrath. You got to dig it out. And it's a rough thing. I mean, shoot, I'm writing in a journal now because it got to go. It got to go. And I'm telling you, my process has been ritualistic and crazy, but it's been working for me. And like I said, I spoke to my parents. I wrote them both letters, and and the reason why I say my parents is because the first pebble of wrath was developed, and it got thrown into my lake when I was a kid. Like I said in the previous video, there was times where I was homeless. There was times when I had to protect my mom from getting beat up. There was times um, where I was molested, where I was touched as a kid, and even now, um, I'm dealing with it. And going back to the ritualistic thing, it sounds crazy, but hey, what's done in the dark will always come to the light. Whenever I wrote them the letter, I told them, hey, like, the energy that I'm gonna pour into this letter is the energy that I need to be dispersed out to the universe, into the world. So I told them, burn it for me. Me personally, I believe, fire it's alive. It has its own energy, and I feel like whenever you put something in the fire, you're releasing it. And so that was my deal. And I'm not saying that you can do it that way. I'm just saying, food for thought. Um, but don't allow wrath to fester. You know, and that's the thing. Everybody has their own river or lake or even an ocean, and even within the ocean, it can become poisoned if you allow the wrong things to get inside of it. And that in itself can create an atmosphere and blinders to the beauty of this world, the beauty of this universe. you know if we didn't have challenges, it would be boring. This our life would just be boring. Choices, without choices, a choice in itself is a challenge, and without it, it would just be boring. So, with that being said, again, I send nothing but love to y'all. All those who watch this video, please understand this is just as much therapeutic for me as it is for you. I hope whatever I said can help you out in the long run. Am I an expert? No, I'm just a young man who's trying to figure it out. That's it. Um, you know, hopefully I can keep this up for a couple years, and if I do, it would be great because I'll be able to sit down and look back, and be like, man, where am I at now that I really matured that much? So, um, I am thankful for you all, and I'm thankful for you clicking on this video and watching. I got my own income, but if you want to subscribe and like and share, then that's perfectly fine. I send nothing but love, and I hope you have a good evening. Um, Good night.